everyone, we're from the musical playground team. My name is Mehul Garg.
I'm Tran.
My name is Kevin.
So before going into what our project involves, I'd like to give you all a little bit of background information. So our project targets stroke patients, and strokes occur when blood flow is cut off to the brain, which can lead to cell hypoxia and ultimately cell death. And depending on the part of the brain that is affected, the body elicits various physiological responses. Some of these responses can include speech impairment, muscle weakness, and memory loss. For our project, we're targeting strokes that occur in the prefrontal cortex of the brain, and this part of the brain controls your motor movements. And effects of these strokes include muscle weakness. For these patients, a common form of rehabilitation is physical therapy. And the goal of physical therapy with these patients is to regain their muscle strength and overcome their muscle spasticity. And by doing so, they'll develop their arm control and coordination. So this ties into the goal for our project, which is to encourage patients to improve their limited arm motions through music. Music therapy has been shown to be a widely effective form of therapy for both children and adults. And the objective of our project, by taking this goal into account, is to create a task-oriented learning game to be completed by the spring design review. In order for this project to be completed, there are certain performance and physical requirements that must be met. The device must be able to define a desired movement pattern for the patient, play back a song to the patient in real time, and distort it according to how well or poorly they're performing. In terms of physical requirements, it must be portable and lightweight because they don't have enough muscle control to handle something very heavy. In addition to that, the weight must be around a pound, and the dimensions must be around 7 by 3 by 2 inches, which is about the average size of a cat.
So there's some technical aspects that our project had to encompass, and the first one was mainly researching stroke therapy and different physical therapy techniques to maybe be able to use this device clinically. Another one was to be able to understand correlation and pattern recognition, to be able to have the device actually work. So, because if we don't have that part, then there's really no point for us to keep on. And learning how to access different components of the phone through Java, because none of us prior to this project knew how to code in Java. So initially, this device was handed to us. As you can see, it's kind of a bulky device in itself. What it mainly encompasses is that it has 2 Arduino boards, one to do all the computation and one to play the sounds. The reason why that this device didn't really work is that the shape was large in size, so it's hard, if a patient had a stroke, it'd be very difficult to grasp the object itself. And that the Arduino boards have limited RAM. So each board has about 256 kilobytes, and that's probably not even enough to hold an average full song on your phone, many of you have. So with that plays very hard to distinguish tones. So it's very like high pitch or low pitch is very hard to distinguish between the two, and that there wasn't really a high resolution, so that we couldn't be able to compare the 2 accelerations, I guess. Because of these limitations, we made the transition from that physical device to an actual app. This allows us to have much more RAM and be able to do fix a lot of the problems that we saw with the device itself, such as the RAM being able to play in real time and just be able to use all the functions that Java has behind itself. And because of this switch, many of us had spare Android phones already, and with the use of a free online open source software that we could use to create executables, our budget was $0.
So it's basically what we've done, or the major milestones of what we've accomplished thus far over the year. We have some completed ones, some in progress ones, and future ones, which have no date because, well, we can't do it. It's too late. So, some of the major ones that we've completed thus far is a lot of the debugging issues, like thread manipulation. We already solved that. Because of that, we kept on crashing, or the app kept on crashing. Sorry, and then. Before we were only able to play recordings, but now we can play full songs. The biggest one that we're dealing with right now is the smoothing up the audio distortion. Right now that one is right now, as of right now, we're actually comparing the motions now, and we're actually spitting out a frequency that we play the song in, but it's at discrete intervals. It's not continuous, so it sounds very unnatural. So that's something that's the major one we're working on. Yeah. Moving on.
Okay, to kind of go briefly behind what we're doing, the graph on your left is mainly comparing the amplitude, so that you can see the blue is kind of what you aim for, and the red is the user input. And you see the amplitudes, they're not really the same. So here we kind of want to distort the sound as the volume, so maybe not play as loud since we're not hitting the max amplitude. And then the graph on your right, you can see the blue is also, it's the same blue as your target as your red is your input, and then you can see this is kind of off phase. So here's where we want to distort the frequency, so it play at a different tone or something.
So this is basically a UI what we have this far. At the top you see it's basically a play button, stop button, and then choosing to distort or not. And right now we only have 2 songs that we can play because it only allows you to play wave files as of now. So first you press a song, there's 2 bottom ones, and then you press play, you choose to distort, you can stop distorting, you can start the distortion, you can just turn it off, and then you can just basically do anything like that. And the major value of this project comes from its low cost and its easy accessibility. It's an app on a smartphone. A lot of people have smartphones. Everybody can access it if they have a smartphone. And there's no major equipment you need. It's just an app, pretty low cost. Everybody can use it, and it's a lot more enjoyable and rewarding. A lot of the therapies that they have right now are just repetitive motions. This one includes the interaction where you actually play music, so you know how well you're doing immediately. So that's the benefit of the real-time aspect. And yeah. So we have a demo. I'm not sure if did you guys see this?
I saw Let It Go at KG.
Oh,
That's
no.
completely new.
I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna play Hey Jude. So can you go back to the UI page? So I pressed this button right now. I'm gonna press play. Oops. Wrong button, wrong one. Just kidding. So then it's playing right now and it's not distorting at all, but after I press this one, it takes, it distorts the sound according to how I move it right now. It's just a prototype. And it's not actually, this is the one before we actually compare it, because the one we're comparing right now actually makes horrible, unnatural sounds because it's very discrete frequencies that's playing right now. And things we've learned, the major ones we've learned is exactly how to code an Android app. Things, especially like using the markup language XML, being able to code in Java. Those things might be very important in the future for our career choice or wherever we want to go. And a lot of the data correlation techniques and also teamwork, taking different parts and trying to combine it into one with contributions from different people. That's the key part.
So some steps for the future for this project. If someone were to take this project next year, it'd be nice to expand the app to include more functionalities, more interactions, maybe different modes of therapies as well. Integrate more aspects of traditional physical therapy into the app. For example, after the patient is done with their segment of a song, the app can generate a progress report to show them and their therapist how well they're doing. Maybe actually test it out in an actual clinic to see if this is better or worse or comparable to traditional physical therapies. And like Kevin mentioned, none of us know how to code. So that was probably one of the most difficult parts of this project. So maybe collaborating with someone in ICS might help if you're not a natural coder, because none of us work from the beginning either. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you.
questions?